I think we're in a transition. I think it took us a few years to transition out of the COVID economy, if you will, and thinking with that mindset. And I think 2024 was, one of the first years where it's just like, oh, we're doing business differently. And perhaps like 2024 is a definition of the new normal post-COVID, which I think money has gotten tighter as part of that, which would make, in my estimation, having, business case and a business justification even more valuable. But do you have any thoughts on why perhaps maybe in 2024 moving forward, business cases to justify the sale of software, I suppose from the customer's perspective, justify the purchase of software is even more valuable or important?
Yeah, I think it's even more important when we saw an increase. It started already last year. We saw an increase in the demand on business cases and business justification for the engagements we have. And I think that's an overall trend because money is rare. CFOs are being asked multiple things. If it's a hospital, will they be investing in a new parking garage, or will they be investing in software to run the hospital? Both investments have some good yield, have some impact on customer experience or employee experience and so on. So all those areas, CFOs need to make those decisions, and they are really invested into those decisions. So I think it's key. But one is, I think even more important is that we start to look beyond the business case, and that the business case becomes a living document. So it's not just something that dies in a SharePoint somewhere, the land of dead plans and dead strategy things and documents, but it becomes actually a living document. And I think the best-in-class companies are using those business case to then use that as the way of measuring the value we deliver to our clients over time, so that we know that, okay, we were planning to provide you X percent increasing conversion by the end of year one. We are at the end of year one. We see that we haven't achieved that completely. What went wrong? What can we adapt? What are the changes we can make? And that you drive that conversation around outcomes, and you have outcomes-based conversation with your clients over time. I think this is the next step, and what we really need to do to make sure that the renewals and all those conversations actually are easier.
Yeah, I think to your point, I think that best case scenarios are that you leverage the business case. Like the business case is the through line from a pre-sales perspective through the customer journey to a post-sale perspective and customer success. And then that's, like you said, a living document. Like what we anticipated the value that you would get back to you at the beginning might not be what actually happens. But if you use that as the target, you can always iterate and adjust that as you go. But if you're not iterating and adjusting it as you go, the customer doesn't know what they're getting. They're getting something, but when it comes time for renewal, is that something that isn't quantified enough for them to send you another check? You don't know. But if you leverage that document as a living document, like you said, throughout the customer journey, they already understand the value that they're getting because it's documented. You've been going through this process with them from pre-sales through the journey to like renewal, and it's a foregone conclusion that they understand that they're giving us money in exchange that they're getting value. So I think best case scenario, and that's like another part of what I mean of like an integrated part of the process and not something that you do on top of it.